Hey everybody, it's Kathy. We are here for day 3 for the Leader Within. Be a Lead Her. Excited to have you here. I'm going to give it just a second here. I got on just a couple seconds after 10. Just want to give an opportunity for people to hop on and join us and with this day 3 content and where we're going and what we're doing and what I will be sharing. So I hope you're having a great day here in California. Well, in Los Angeles, it's a pretty warm day. But it's a good day, man. I am filled with energy and excitement and am having such a fun time really sharing this new content with you, connecting with you, and having the conversation with some of you offline and what this looks like for your life and how being a lead her makes an impact in who you want to be and what you want to do and the difference that you want to make. And again, as I've said before, I know that the reason that you're on this is because you do have a difference to make in this world. You're meant to make an impact, and you know that, and you're just looking for some of those tools and those things that you can do to step into that. Really be your best self, the best version of you. How do you do that? So today, let's just give a quick recap. So day 1, we talked a little bit about the leadership mindset. And again, when I say lead her, it's always with that H, leadership mindset. Mindset is critical. Mindset is essential. We've got to be in that right space. We have to have the tools, the resources to be able to pull ourselves out when we're feeling down or low, when things aren't quite going our way, when things aren't such the expectation, right? Mindset is the foundation of everything that we do, whether it is being a leader in our business or a leader in our community or a leader of our own lives, right? Leadership starts within. It starts with us, how we show up. Day 2, we talked about the essential questions that you need to ask yourself when going through all this and trying to figure out, how and why and who and all those questions about when we're stepping into being a leader and what that looks like. So that was yesterday's, and it's, whether you journal about it, whether you pray about it, whether you take a walk and ponder it, those questions are essential to really take a deeper dive. There is nothing surface level about becoming a leader in your life, becoming the lead her that you're meant to be. There is nothing surface. It's all deep. It's a deeper dive, right? Which can be scary, which can be uncomfortable. And sometimes people don't like to do it, right? I don't like to, the excuses come up. I don't like to journal. Okay, well then take a walk and ponder it. Really think about it. Get quiet and get present and be with you to hear the leader within. With that said, we are going to go to today's topic, which is how to access the answers that are meant for you. How to access those answers within that are meant for you. And we're going to go a little on the woo-woo side today. I'm sure that doesn't surprise some of you, but may surprise others. So actually getting quiet to be able to listen and hear the answers and being able to allow things to bubble up is really that next step for you, right? You're asking the questions, you're giving it some prayerful consideration, you're pondering as you go throughout your day, or maybe you sat down and took some quiet time to journal about it. And I talked about hot penning and letting things bubble up. But we also need to get really quiet within to be able to, I can't close the window, sorry, it's just too hot. And I know there's a lot of traffic noise today, but we have to get quiet to be able to access those answers within us so that we can hear them. And I do mean hear them. There's a quote. Well, before I get to that, let's talk about how we get quiet, right? I'm a big proponent of silence and solitude. And I really got that originally from my coach years ago, right? When we talked about doing a solo retreat and going away by myself. And I actually did it for a 24-hour period. And I've continued doing that, 2 or 3 days here or a week in Scotland, whatever it was. But for me, getting in that place where I find peace, right? So it could be going down to the beach. For me, I'm close, right? Going down to the beach and bringing my journal and, not having to be anywhere, not having any other things that are necessarily pulling me away, not sitting with everybody else, right? Just that peace that brings it. Sometimes I've gone up to the mountains for myself and stayed there. But the whole goal of this, the whole purpose of it is to have silence and solitude. And I know for many that's not easy, right? We live in a busy, chaotic world. We are, the first time I went away by myself and spent time alone was super uncomfortable because I didn't want to be with myself, right? Now I crave time every day to be myself, to be by myself. And I really want to encourage you to do that because that is where you're going to be able to access those answers within. When we get quiet, when we find that place of silence and solitude, and maybe it's, if you've got a lot of responsibilities with work or family or that, it may be, hiding in the bathroom for 5 minutes, or maybe it's each week finding a place that you can go to get that quiet, like I said, the beach or the mountains or park for that matter, right? Wherever. But we need to be able to sit, meditate, get quiet. I highly suggest you taking a few minutes, and maybe you can set your timer on your phone to take 2 or 3 minutes of complete silence. Just, starting from that place of relaxation, right? Feeling the earth underneath you, feeling your feet grounded in the sand or the ocean or nature, I don't know, whatever it is, or just firmly planted on the floor if you're at home, right? And allowing your mind to empty. Really allowing your mind to empty, putting aside and shutting the door behind all the things that are out there. Because you know what? They'll be there when you're finished, right? So shutting that door and just allowing thoughts to come in and go out. And come in and go out, right? And maybe you have a word that you bring back to center. Maybe this word is peace or yes, right? Just trying to be in that place of quiet. Real quiet, silence, solitude. And then it's asking, right? It's asking some of the things that we talked about, and maybe this is journaling, what I really want to suggest here is it's not journaling, it's being within oneself, right? So I'm going to talk a little bit about prayer today, or meditation, or whatever you want to call it, right? It's when you decide where you're connected to that higher power. Right? You are listening from within. It is all within. It's your soul that's speaking to you. It's the universe speaking to you. And that's why I'm saying you need to get in this place of silence and solitude so that you can hear, right? So that you can really, really hear. Emptying all the thoughts that you think will go with it, right? I pray every day, every morning. And there are times when I need to be deeper in prayer where I do go away. But for me, I need to get that connection. And when I talk about this, I'm not talking about religion. Let me make that perfectly clear. It is not about religion. It is about a relationship with my higher power, right? We talked about faith. Faith is a belief in a higher power, whatever that looks like for you. God, source, divine, universe, Mother Earth, whatever it is, right? So having that connection, that relationship with that higher power is where it begins. And to be able to get connected to that, we've got to get quiet and be able to listen. The quote I was going to read you before, it's actually from the book that I referenced yesterday, the Draw the Circle book, which is an amazing 40-day challenge. Highly recommend. The greatest tragedy in life is the prayers that go unanswered simply because they go unasked. Right? What are you asking for? Or are you asking for anything? Are you asking for a miracle? Are you asking for a message? Are you asking for a sign? Are you asking for what? Right? We journal and we think and we ponder, but do we ever get in this place of prayer where we actually ask, right? We ask for an answer. We're asking to, and we may not get that answer right away, right? There may be things, and I'll share a couple of stories with you, that show up in your life that maybe are that answer. They may not be in that moment, but it may be an answer later in the day that when you reflect back to what your original ask was, or what your original prayer was, it was actually absolutely correlated with that. So I've told the story a couple of times, but there was some pretty dark times when I was going through just realizing I was about to enter into a divorce, and after 27 years. And I was coming back from a family event, and we were getting on a freeway, And I had just left my daughters behind at a big family gathering for a graduation. And my now ex-husband and I were in the car driving back to the airport to go back to Los Angeles. And I knew that when that plane landed in Los Angeles, that my entire life was going to change. Right? I mean, it kind of already was in that moment, but I knew nothing would be the same when that plane touched down in LA. And I was crying. I mean, I not full on sobbing, but it was, I was trying to hold it together because of all the stuff that was going on with the family. And I just needed that sign that things were going to be okay, that life was going to be okay, that I was going to be okay, right? And as we're getting on the freeway, you know how a lot of times there's graffiti or there's signs or the rebel. There was a sign. There was an actual sign on the chain link fence to the entrance to the freeway to get to Sacramento Airport that said, "You are loved." Pretty simple, huh? You are loved. Now, some people will look at me and say, "You think that was for you?" I've had people say that to me. "You think that message was for you?" Yeah, I know that message was for me. I asked. I was in a place of darkness. I was looking for hope, right? And the universe responded. God sent the message right there on a chain link fence for me to see in all its glory, right? And there may have been people before me and people after me who needed to see the same damn message. But that's what I'm talking about when you can see those answers, right? When you look at and feel the universe, God, whomever working in your life, right? It may be somebody who shows up. Maybe you're asking for some guidance along your business and you're not really sure what to do or how to approach something, right? And then and you ask for it, you pray for it, you talk about it, right? And then all of a sudden, funny enough, a mentor shows up or somebody who's in the same industry shows up, and you may not even correlate the two, you may not even put them together. But there are answers coming, right? There are things that are filling up our lives and we just aren't even necessarily aware of it. Have you had an experience like that? I'm guessing some of you have had experiences like that. So this idea of asking, there is a verse in the Bible, I don't even know where it is. Ask and it will be given, seek and you will find, knock and the door shall be open. For everyone who asks receives, the one who seeks will find, and the one who knocks, the door will be opened. So again, this idea of asking, of seeking, of knocking, of getting into a place of quiet meditation and prayer and having that conversation with your higher power, having that conversation, asking, pondering, reaching out, right? It's so important. That is the only way that you are going to get the answers that are meant for you. Now, for me, sometimes when I'm actually journaling my prayers, it's like a letter between me and God for me, right? And there'll be times where I'll get a download. I'll have something come through. I'll have a sentence or two come through that is very clearly not me. I don't even know how to explain it. It just is. It's a sentence or two that is directed at me. I know when it's over because there's nothing else that comes out of my brain. The pen just kind of stops, right? And it's always directly at what I am thinking about or praying about or hoping for, right? Sometimes it's been as simple as surrender it, I've got you, right? I mean, so it's, like I said, I know this is a little more woo-woo today, but I just, that's where my faith is. I guess that's the bottom line. That's where my faith is. I trust that the universe has got me. I trust that God's got my back. I know that I need to be connected to my higher power. And for me, it is a relationship with that higher power. So I am going to talk. I'm going to ask. I'm going to seek. I'm going to knock. And I know doors are going to be opened. And I know that in seeking, I'm going to find the things, the people, the places, the stuff that needs to be showing up in my life. I know that I'm going to ask and I'm going to receive. It may not be exactly as I want it. It may not be in the timing I want. But I'm going to, right? Because I have faith and I have trust that as I continue to walk my walk and talk my talk, it's going to all flow and come together. Does that make sense? I truly hope so. I truly hope so. Because I just think it is so essential. It is so easy to step into the busy. And when it's busy, it's chaos and there's just all this white noise and there's just all this, constant noise around us, right? And until we can learn how to really turn within, tune in within, and I'm talking about deep down listening, right? That's where the answers are going to come. With that said, when the answers come, you may or may not like the answer. Sometimes we need to follow what that answer is, even though it's putting us out of our comfort zone. We're not quite sure. Now, there's ways to check whether the answer is right or not right, and I'm not going to get into that today. But we do need to put that in motion, right? If we're asking for somebody to show up in our life to support us in our business, to support other health goals, or we're asking for, seeking knowledge for things, or, knocking on doors, right? When those things happen, we do need to act. We need to move. We need to, no, that can't be right? So in all of this stuff that I'm teaching right now, I have been asking and seeking and knocking, like banging the gosh door down over the last 6 months. Actually, probably even longer than that. And the answers have come. I just haven't necessarily liked them. They're scary. They're big. They're bold. They're out of my comfort zone. You're going to like me or you're not under this, right? And that is scary. But until I step into that, until I really walk, I'm asking for it. So I need to take that step. And when I start taking that step, things start flowing, right? I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I can see where things are going. People are showing up in my life. Experiences are showing up in my life. Knowledge and opportunities are showing up in my life, right? Because I'm actually moving and taking that step. I've gotten the download. I've gotten the direction, and so what is that for you? Are you quiet already and getting some answers? And maybe it's that little knowing inside, that little nudge, right? And you're like, but who am I to do that? That's a big one, right? Who am I to do that? That can't be right. But I don't have the resources to do that. Or I don't have the finances to do that. Or I don't know the right person to do that, right? But continue asking and seeking and knocking, because those people, those things are going to show up if you're willing to do the work. So keep in mind, the answer may be a yes or a no or not yet. It's not our job to necessarily know. It's our job to ask. It's our job to get out there. It may be simply a not yet, and the timing isn't quite right, and being okay with that. But again, keep moving forward and keep putting it out there. Keep asking, keep seeking, keep knocking. And allow things to come into your life that are truly amazing. And be willing to step into that bigger version of you, that better version of you, that lead her that you really are in all areas of your life, business, and family, and community, all the other areas too. Leading yourself as well. You've got to be the change you want to see in the world, as they say, right? It needs to start with you. The change needs to start with you. Okay. So that's today's lesson. I would love to hear from you and know whether you had an experience like that, if it makes you feel uncomfortable, or whether it's something that you would like to, lean into a little bit further, because we need to lean into being a leader, right? It's not easy, but you're meant to be doing it. You're meant to be making an impact. You are meant to be making a difference in this world. I know you are. And so how can you do that? Tomorrow, today's class time is a little shorter, since the other ones were longer. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about the 8 fundamental tools that you need in your toolbox. And we're going to be talking about the divine feminine tools that you need in that toolbox. All of us need a toolbox. I've got the screwdriver and the wrench and the pliers and all that, but what do I have for my life? What are the tools that I have for my life? And these 8 fundamental tools, I'm guessing they're not going to be what you think they are. I can almost guarantee they're not going to be what you think they are, but they are essential, and they can make a huge impact in the way that you show up in this world, in how you are seen in this world. Activating your divine feminine qualities as a leader can help you bounce forward in ways that you never thought possible. Many of us are constantly in that masculine. this conversation last night with a gentleman about being in that masculine, always. I mean, I'm a leader, I'm moving forward, I got to do this, I got to do that, right? I mean, I'm sure you can relate, right? And as a business owner, we tend to be that way. And what I'm going to be sharing with you tomorrow is a way to take our feminine qualities, our divine feminine qualities, actually, and put that into how you're showing up as a leader and how that makes you a stronger leader, a better leader, somebody who's going to listen more, potentially a softer leader. But when I say soft, I don't mean weak. I don't mean weak. Soft is stronger. Softer is stronger in this, what I'll be sharing tomorrow. So we'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow, maybe the full 20 to 30 minutes, because I really want to take a deeper dive into these 8 feminine qualities as a leader that can make a huge impact in your life and in your business, in your community, and anything that you're doing, and the way you're living your life really is who you are. So we'll be back tomorrow again at 10 a.m. Pacific time, right here on Facebook, on YouTube. If you're signed up for the class, you're getting the recordings. So I'm glad that you'll be joining us. If you have any questions or things you want to share, when you hit reply to my email, or if you DM me on social media or whatever it is, I'm the only one who checks it. Nobody else is in my email inbox. Nobody else is checking my social media. It is between you and me. Just you and me, a direct conversation, and I'd love to hear from you. All right, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. We're Wednesday here, and halfway through the week. Got a big weekend coming up for myself here, doing some wedding dress shopping with my daughter. Anyway, we'll talk to you soon. Have a great day, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. Bye-bye.